Hey there, Joe Techie back again to do a review of the ZAGG Keys cover. This is for the iPad mini. Just got this in and wanted to do a quick unboxing and review of this keyboard model. Now this one's particularly nice because it actually has the backlighting on it. It also has the ability to pull the iPad off, so you have different modes. You have the iPad standard tablet mode, you have the cover feature where it actually can slide into the hinge, and then you have the again, the backlighting. So it does do multiple angles, as you can see here, and it also has multiple brightnesses. So let's have a quick look at this and we'll take to see what's going on. We'll have an unboxing of this, and I'll also show and tell a little bit about how this thing works. Okay, so let's see, we've got the keyboard. Okay, there's the charging cable there, and there's apparently nothing else in there but that. Okay, perfect. Set that aside. Okay, so here's the keyboard, the user manual, and then there's some rubber feet that come included. I guess we'll need to put those on the bottom here to keep this thing from sliding around. It actually has rubber feet as well on the hinge assembly. That's to keep from getting scratched up and whatnot. I probably would recommend, honestly, getting those rubber feet put on just to keep this thing from getting scratched. I could see this is metal, so it would likely scratch up and the paint would fade and wear off. Okay, you can see that the finish is kind of a matte blue finish, and it feels quite nice. It's not very overly slippery or anything like that. Okay, so this is the hinge assembly, and you'll notice, if looking at it from this angle, that you have the flat side here and then an angled edge here. This is exactly where your iPad mini is going to slide in. It actually is made for the contour of the iPad mini. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look, and I'll present the iPad mini here into the hinge. And the best way to do this really is to kind of line this up with the keyboard. You would just line it up this way with your fingers, and you're going to press down. Might even be easier to do it this way. So you would actually press down firmly so that it slides all the way in on both sides. Once you have it slid all the way in, that's pretty much how it's going to go in right there. So you'll see that it's pushed all the way into the gap, and it's actually held firmly and snugly in there. So I can open it up. We've got multiple angles. It is also the smart cover. It has that smart cover feature so that when I open it, it wakes up the screen so I can immediately start typing in the passcode and whatnot. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn this keyboard on, and then we can try to attempt to pair it up. So I'm going to turn it on there's a button here on the side. As soon as I turn it on, there's a red LED light that lights up. Okay, you'll notice that there's a second small push button here, and what I'll need to do is I'll need to press that down and hold it for about a second, and you'll see this blue light start to light up and blink. So what that will do is it'll allow me to put it in pairing mode. So if I go into my settings and then Bluetooth, you'll see that the ZAGG cover now shows up in here. And all I need to do is click on it, and it should pair up on its own. Very simple to pair this up with your iPad. And I've seen this with other ZAGG models as well, so that they've very simplified the process of literally you just pair it up and it's ready to go, and you don't have to fuss with any of the codes or anything like that. So it's just quite easy. So now that it's paired, let's go ahead and take a quick look at trying to do a quick typing test. Okay, so I just need to learn how to spell here. Right. Notice the placement of the exclamation above the 1. It's a little strange because it's a smaller button. It's not a full-size one. The rest of the keys are full-sized, and they actually feel quite nice. It does have a very nice typability feel to it. Very good response. I don't have to press very hard. It's like a regular laptop keyboard. and I can do the special functions like going to my home. I can lock it. I can get Siri to respond using this button, toggle different keyboards, copy, cut, paste, and whatnot. Then you have your play, rewind, forward, pause buttons, and your volume up, down, and mute. Okay, so it also has a couple of other interesting features. It has a backlighting feature. Okay, the backlighting feature is activated with the function key. So what you do is you actually press the up arrow or the down arrow to change the brightness. It has 3 different luminosities. Okay, and it also allows you to toggle between different colors. That's actually kind of neat because many people have different preferences in color. Okay, depending on what your preference is, you can choose between any of these colors, which is pretty neat. All right, and also you can hold this button down, the function in the Alt key where the little battery indicator is, and you'll see a little LED light that's blinking. Right now it's blinking green, and that's going to indicate to me that it is currently 50% or greater of charge. So how that works is if it's yellow, I believe it's 25 or between 25 and 50 or 49, and then if it turns red while you do that check, it means that it is currently at a low rate, so therefore it's going to run out soon and you should charge it up. The battery expectancy on these would probably be around anywhere from a month to 3 months. I haven't read the exact specs on this one, but that's generally typically the norm for a lot of these keyboards. They tend to last quite a while between charges, and some of them last even longer depending on the model that you get. Some of them advertise up to 2 years, and I'll quickly cover that as well. So the iPad is currently in here. You'll notice that the keyboard lighting looks like it kind of stays on. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn that off. Okay, so it kind of goes off on its own. So it has a wake up feature, so to speak. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out because this is the idea, is you're able to take the keyboard away from the iPad and you take off and you're in tablet mode. So that's a pretty neat little feature. Now, there is another model which has not officially been released yet by ZAGG that does exactly the same thing as this, except they have simplified it quite a bit. This one you have to push into the hinge. And for the price range, this one's actually, I picked it up really cheap on Amazon for roughly about $35, which is a pretty good price overall. The one that is on the ZAGG's website is basically exactly the same thing. In fact, I'll show you the Air version of the same exact thing. Okay, so just setting the iPad mini aside. When I set that aside, I've got this one here. This is the Slim Book. Okay, the Slim Book, this is particularly for the iPad Air 2. And you'll notice the difference here is that it actually has the back cover where the one for the mini did not. It did not include the back cover. So this is a plus for this particular model. And 2, because it is specially made for this with the back cover included, what happens is I can literally just snap it like that. I can just snap it right in and easily just pop it right out. Now the other thing is I can turn it backwards, okay, and so I can take it and put it in tablet mode using it this way. Okay, now because this one is magnetic, it literally has these magnets here and these 2 little notches, which is what will fit on to the iPad Air back cover. Now that is an added bonus. Of course, there is an extra price tag in order to have that extra functionality. I particularly chose this for my iPad Air 2 specifically because it has the back cover protection and it has the functionality where I can flip it backwards. The only downside with this one is that it does not have the portrait mode. It only does landscape. That's really a preference. So again, the same thing. Now with this one, you can put it in that mode. You could put it into portrait mode. Now that is going to create a little extra weight ultimately. Okay, so let me see if I can push this in here and kind of get it in there. It's a little tough to actually push this down in here, so I'd recommend that you do press firmly in there so you can make sure you get it in there. Okay, so it's a little bit on the heavy side. So it looks like that's going to be about a safe viewing angle right here. Okay, and it looks like, you know, it functions as usual. Naturally, you're not gonna fold it like this. That's gonna look kind of silly. So you really want to have it this way. I mean, I think it was really definitely designed to be held in this way. So it appears to be a little tricky getting that in there, but once you get it in, just make sure that it is pressed all the way in there. So you wouldn't want your iPad mini to fall out and slip out. That would be disastrous if you dropped it. But once it's in here, it's actually pretty secure. You know, like I can dangle it like that and it's not coming out. It's pretty secure. I wouldn't recommend doing this all the time, but just for the purposes of displaying this and showing this, it does stay together quite well, although it's only grabbing onto a very small portion of your tablet. So all in all, I think this is a pretty nice little device, mainly because of the backlight feature, being able to pull the iPad off of the keyboard, take it off into tablet mode. The price point, in this case, I actually got it extremely cheap on Amazon. I was kind of amazed that I got it so cheap. I'll have a link down below in my description where you can get this, take advantage of this offer while it lasts. It may not be up for long. And again, there's the version of the Slim Book that's going to be coming out soon that does exactly the same thing as this, but is more refined, and of course it comes with a heftier price tag. And that's really the only drawback really I see between this one and the Slim Book that will come out soon for the iPad mini. One other quick thing to mention is that you can buy, because it did not come with the back cover, which I think is kind of a con, it's a negative in my point, you can purchase other back covers that have the smart cover functionality. So like for example, this one here has the cutout already for it. So what I would need to do, I'll just, you know, you snap this on. In fact, I bought this one, it's the Fosman back cover. It has a lacquer kind of shiny finish. I'm not really fond of the finish. I'd prefer something a little more matte, but that's okay. The whole purpose of this really is to protect it, not so much caring about the aesthetic of it. But so one of the things you'll have to do when you get a cover, certain ones may fit differently and may have a different angle on this. So you may have to possibly modify this. That's another drawback to this one, is that you may not easily be able to pair up a cover for this to have the same type of protection as I just showed you with the Slim Book. So overall, this is still, I think, a pretty good keyboard case. And I would, for the price point and the features that it has, I think it's an excellent value. If you did find this useful, please like and subscribe, and there will be more videos to come. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great one.